Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we're going to be talking about the new Chancellor Rookie Support missions that are going on. Now, these come out every so often, normally right before the big celebrations, the half Annie and the full Annie, which we are very close to coming up on. But we have a lot of very easy missions to do. Use a whole butt ton of stamina, clear the daily predator battle events, do all of the very early story missions. These are going to be one really big thing with these flashback crystals. We'll talk about that shortly. And then as we get further down, let's clear the level up quest and you get a literal butt ton of magicules and gold. This is going to be very, very impactful for new players. And then, yeah, do more of the predator battles, clear all of the ability release quests a certain amount of times at each difficulty, and you get the corresponding size rocks. And then clear conquest. I mean, this is what new players are going to have to do to get gear, and this just makes it a little bit easier because it doesn't matter what conquest you clear, it's just you have to clear them a total of 18 times and you get 3 cores, or maybe, yeah, 3 cores of each type. That'll be very, very nice. And then the final one is Tower of Ices, which the first few floors are not difficult, so even new players should be able to take on Tower, and it's just use stamina. You don't have to keep climb. You can just do the same one over and over and over and over and over again until you get these missions done. But then we come to the big ones. Clear any mission within the time period 100 and 150 times, and you get a Selector ticket for both a battle unit and a Protector ticket. So today we're going to be going over, who you should pick with these, and then what you should do with all of your butt ton of flashback crystals that you can acquire. Now, before I talk about that, one thing to note about the flashback crystals is that for new players, you'll be able to acquire all of them because you go through, chapter 1 and you do beginner stage and you have all these stages with the missions and clear it once. You get 6,000. Awesome. However, for older players, you can do all of them but the Predator Battle ones. So all players who have already done these stages will not be able to acquire a portion of the flashback crystals. It's one stage per every chapter, right? So it's not like you're missing out on a literal butt ton, but just know that you will have stages that you cannot complete if you have already done them, because these missions are built for brand new players who have not done story. So, unfortunate, yes. Is it too big of a deal? Not really. So, moving on. The first thing is, what are flashback crystals and why are they important? Well, it's how you acquire some of the old free-to-play characters. So we have in the event tab this Flashback Crystal Bazaar, and it has, among all these very expensive things, which I wouldn't really worry about for new players, I would more worry about the characters and their gear. Now, since for about a year, they've been doing interesting things. We've got free-to-play characters and free-to-play gear for the 5-star units, but not able to acquire the actual newer free-to-play characters. But there are still older free-to-play characters to get. And there are very specific ones that I believe everyone should pick up. So the first one is going to be Isis, right? The original character for the game. You need to buy Isis, and you need to buy her dupes, and you need to buy pretty much everything to max her out, because she is going to be one of the most impactful free-to-play characters you will ever have in this game. She is a huge, huge support unit for green orb-focused teams, because she has an orb change, and she has a skill that buffs green orbs by 50% for everything. And she came out on the 1st anniversary. We're about to hit the 2.5 anniversary, and she is still one of, if not the best free-to-play characters this game has ever put out. So it is very, very important that you use your new flashback crystals and buy everything related to Isis. Her gear, her awakening flames, her ores, her skill enhancements. She is #1 pick that you need to get. The second pick, in my opinion, would be Water Rimuru. He is built for blue orb teams because all he does is change orbs. But that could be very helpful, very impactful for new players. And you need to buy up all of his stuff, all his gear, all his dupes, all his flames, all enhancements. Geld is also a solid option, especially for this current meta being the Primal Demon meta, because turn 1 is a 2 orange orb convert to blues, and that's what Geld does on one of his skills. His other skill sends every blue orb to your unit with the highest attack, which is generally going to be your nuker, which you kind of want your nuker to have a bunch of orbs to get alt gauge, right? So he is also a very, very important pickup. After you pick up Geld and Rimuru and Isis, it really can start to, you know, begin who you want as far as who you actually like. Hero is okay. All the rest of the units are okay. They have niche uses. I personally would pick up either free-to-play Sufia or Earth Aaron because they have a orange to green convert, while Isis has a blue to green convert. And so it's just nice to have someone who can do the other side of the orbs on a green team, and both Aaron and Sufia have that ability. They would be my personal next pickups. I really wouldn't worry about these free-to-play protectors up here because most of them are not that good, unfortunately. Satoru can be okay for blue stacking teams, but he's not really that useful in this Primal Demon meta. You have all this random gear for Diablo. Unfortunately, because of how this game is structured, you're not able to get Diablo. You cannot get Cleash. You cannot get Ranga unless their beatdown battles come back, which we may see Ranga come back soon based on the data mine. It's still not 100% confirmed, but you may be able to. The most unfortunate one is going to be free-to-play Yom, Vengeance Yom. Him not being available is a huge blow to free-to-play players. But out of Flashback Crystals, you need to pick up Isis, you need to pick up Water Rimuru, and you should pick up Geld. And after that, everyone else is up to you. They all have varying uses. But now that we've covered that, let's talk about the free choice ticket. So when you do the 100 clears or the 150 missions cleared, you get a ticket for each of these shops right here. And you can pick any 5-star that came out up to, I think, EX metas. Yeah, so Shion's here. Yuki should be here. Yeah, so literally any old 5-star character you can get out of this shop. That is not an EX character. So Albus, Hinata, Primal Demon Diablo, EX Guy. They will not be available in here. But there are still very good options for players, especially new players, to get it out of this shop. And my number one pick, always and forever, is going to be the Masked Hero. She is the only unit with the rewind ability, which lets you redo a turn, for free, essentially. So she is right here. She gives everybody crits as well. So make another move, turn stays the same, and then 20% protection gauge buffed to all orbs. 1 use per battle. It is a very important, impactful skill. She came out for the original half anniversary, and she is still top tier to this day. She has been power crept a bit, but she is still the only unit that has the rewind ability. Her second skill gives everybody's guaranteed crit, and then lowers crit resistance on the enemy, which means that your crits will hit harder. Now, right now, Primal Demon meta, they're not really wanting you to crit because they seal you, so this skill isn't as impactful, but across 99% of the game, the hero is one of the best support units that you could put on your team. She is good for this, she is good for this, she is good for her trait, which she gets protection gauge every 3 turns. She is a fantastic unit, and anyone who does not have her should probably pick her up immediately. After that, it becomes a little bit subjective. She is the only unit that I necessitate people picking up. If you have all the next options I'm going to talk about, you can pick whoever. Wind Trainee is a good pickup. She's a blue orb converter. She also gives alt gauge to your highest attacking unit, which again, most of the time is your nuker. She also has a very good trait if you put dupes into her. She's a fantastic pickup. Water Shuna is also a good pickup. She could work well for this meta. She's got an orange to blue orb convert, and she's got a generic alt buff. She is also a good pickup. Let's see. Let's see. Lumi, green orb changer, and a healer can be useful in some circumstances. Earth Trainee is a healer. She has that pierce power down, which will be really important for the Space Millennium Conquest fight. Uh, Dark Millennium. Dark Millennium is another green converter and an alt buffer, good for green teams, just like Shuna is good for blue teams because she's got a blue convert and an alt buff. Dark Millennium has a green convert and an alt buff, makes her very useful. They're built for two different colors of teams, which makes them pretty versatile, and having either or would mean that, you can build and still have an alt buff and converters. And Light Raphael is still to this day a pretty solid nuker on the Light 3.0 team. He's got the stun, he's got pierce, he's got alt resistance down. He does a lot of stuff. He is quite expensive though, with his skill cost both being 55, but very good. Light Lumi is necessary for like two of the fights, and those being the Tempered Edge fight versus the Light 3.0. This Veldora fight right here, she is required to clear the higher difficulties because he has stun, and Lumi negates the stun resistance, and the Light team is built on stun. So very, very important, but only, again, useful for like 2 stages in the game, so very niche. I don't know if I would recommend picking her up unless you have no other option. And then apart from that, there are DPS units, like you get Bride Xion, you could get Shinsha, you could get Xion or Shinsha, AoE units. There are a lot of picks. The last ones that I would really push people are the big 3. Earth Millennium, Light Gazel, and where is Dark Millennium? Did I pass her already? I think I passed her. Yeah, Dark Millennium. So Gazel, Millennium, and Millennium. These are the units that allow you to start with protection gauge on turn 1. So I've seen a lot of new people being like, why do I have so much protection gauge when I start the fight? And we'll go into a fight as an example. And it's because of those 3 characters. So if we go to this, actually, maybe not here. We'll go into... Hold on. All right, we'll go into Crucible. So we have Gazel, Millennium, and Millennium in our front 3 supporting slots. And if we look at their trait, there's a reason. Because when your troop contains 3 or more battle characters, we have 5, increases protection gauge by 11 at the start of the battle. All 3 of these characters have the same trait, protection gauge by 11 points at the start of the fight. Right here, 11, and then Gazel also has 11. So when we go into the fight, turn 1, before we even do anything, we have half of our protection meter already filled up. Now, the thing about it is that the only way to do this is if they have dupes, right? Having the initial copy of Gazel and the 2 Millenniums doesn't get you anything, but having 1 dupe in them gives you a decent amount of starting protection gauge. Having 3 dupes in them gives you this total maximum effect right here of having over half a protection meter filled. So that is the caveat, is that you do need dupes in Millennium and Gazel in order for this to take effect. So, I mean, the initial copies are nice. You could feed shards into them at a later date, but they do need dupes. So if you already have one of the Millenniums or Gazel and you need that dupe to get that protection gauge, that could be a good pickup if you don't really care about anyone else. That's in the battle selector ticket. Like if you already have the hero, you have Water Shuna, you have Dark Millennium, it might be impactful to start picking up dupes of these characters in order to maximize your protection gauge later in the game. So those are my picks. Again, like these are subjective picks. These are what I consider the best pickups. Hero, Dark Millennium, Water Shuna, Trainee. These will be pretty impactful for most players, the big 3. But again, you can pick really whoever you want. There are DPSs like Space Millennium. Light Raphael is a DPS. Bride Xion is a DPS. There are other picks. So, I mean, look at your box. See what you need. Do you need fire units? Do you need green orb changers? Do you need support units? It's really subjective on you as a player. But moving on to the protection ticket, this becomes a bit easier, honestly, because number one should be Protector Shuna. Goes along with Light Raphael for the stacking effect. Dark Veldora is a very good pickup. Toa, where's Toa? Toa. Toa. Very good pickup for an orange focused team. And then after that, it's pretty much up to you, right? I would honestly consider Shuna the best out of the pick. Veldora would be a very close second. And then Toa would be third. They focus on different types of teams. Toa is an orange orb focused protector. Shuna is a blue stacking protector. And Veldora is a green stacking protector. So between those three, you have all three color orbs covered. Everyone else in here is either wonky or a derivative of the other units. Like Toa is just a better Hakuro. So don't pick up Hakuro. Get Toa. This stacking Water Milim is almost the same as the Shuna, except she only affects water units, so it pretty limited. And then Veldora is a skill reset, a magic buffer, and a point giver, so he is very, very important for stacking green teams. Those are what I consider the best ones. But again, this is a subjective list, and if you already have those three, then you'll have to take a look and determine, like, do I want Guy? Do I want Gabiru? Do I want Cabby? Do I want Bride Shizu? It's really up to you. But my top three picks would be Shuna, Veldora, and Toa. But that's my overview of the beginner Chancellor missions. Again, they're super duper easy to get done. You just have to do all of the beginner stages, like these training stages, level up quest. They have missions. Well, they would have missions associated with them. But just do them. They're free and easy rewards. They level up your Great Sage. They give you a bunch of free stuff. They give you those free tickets, Flashback Crystals, etc. So hopefully this video helped you out. It was a bit long, but I did have a lot to talk about. So let me know if this helped you. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.